We're going to talk some baseball. Daab. We're going to open up some sports cards. We're going to talk about betting. You're in the Sports Lounge.
And now, you're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
It is a wonderful Sunday morning when you are watching this, listening to this. Of course, because you're already subscribed, you already get this content as soon as it drops. If not, hit that button. It's right around here somewhere. My name is Eureka Wheeler. I am the host, one of the co-hosts here of the Sports Lounge, but I cannot do this without my main man, my partner in crime, my dude, my ace, my tag team partner, Chris Glazier. What's good, my guy?
Feeling good, man. Hot day in the Bay. We got the Bucks playing the Hard Knock Jets here tonight. Looking forward to that game. Another preseason. Took an L in the first game, a little rough start, but I'm feeling good today. I think the Bucks, play a tough game tonight against the Jets. So looking forward to that. How are you feeling, Eureka? How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. Yeah, little secret. We are recording this on a Sunday. Our schedules aligned that way. But what was good about that schedule aligning is that we get to have a really good conversation with our special guest this week. This is a man who is one of the co-hosts of RBLR Rays. He is a person that I respect very much for his insight and his opinion. And now we get to learn a little bit more about him. And that is our special guest, Zach Daab. What's good, Zach? What's up, buddy?
I am doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm really excited to be part of the conversation today, and I'm very excited for everyone to get on the Trask Train tonight. With the pros for two tutties and 300 yards. I'm really excited for everyone to be on the train.
Chris, Zach here is a Gator. He's a Gator, and he's chomping over there. For those who have getting the full experience on YouTube, he's over there chomping. Zach? Yeah. We usually don't talk about sports so much, X's and O's, but. Do you think he's going to get a real shot? Do you think he's going to succeed here?
Is he going to get a real shot, and is he going to succeed? I don't think that's the same question.
Okay,
because I think if he gets a real shot, he will succeed. Because if you look throughout his career, he only got a real shot one time, and he should have won the Heisman, and he didn't because of who knows what reason. He was on pace, by the way. If you look at his statistics for that season, they played 12 games, all SEC schedule. His statistics, if you line them up and extrapolate those stats out to a full schedule, they are better than Joe Burrow's Heisman season. Just saying. Just super saying. Anyway, that was the first chance he had ever been given to actually do his thing, and he was excellent. And now, to be fair, he had some really, really good players. There's this guy, Kyle Pitts. He was phenomenal. So they had a good team around him. Defense, not so much, but the offense was excellent. And I think if the Bucks give him a chance to actually do his thing, he will succeed. And I think at some point they're probably going to have to, because I don't think Baker's going to play well enough the whole season to justify getting the starting nod. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I don't know if he starts the season as a starter, but he will get a chance at some point. And if they actually give him a couple games, I think he will succeed and be very successful.
Are you confident if Trask was to start for us this year? Are you confident in his ability to play at a high level, especially in the NFL, where he hasn't taken a snap yet in a real-time game? Obviously, he sat behind Brady. He was behind Gabbert last year, so I heard he was struggling a little bit with some things. But would you be confident in him starting in an NFL game this season?
Absolutely. I mean, he started in the SEC. Like that's the closest you can get to the NFL without being in the NFL. And again, his season that he started, that's an all SEC schedule. That's one of the toughest schedules that's ever scheduled. So, like he played some real stiff competition the whole season long. Had a drive at the end of the game to beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. We didn't get it done, so that's fair to say. But we played hard. They played hard. He played hard. I expect him to come out and perform well tonight. I expect him to, if they give him a start in the NFL, I expect him to be able to do that. They have some excellent weapons on the Bucks. Like, it's not like he's played, like there's some talent on this Bucks team, and sure. I think they just need a little spark, and I think that Kyle Trask can provide that. Whether they let him provide that at the beginning of the season or a couple weeks in, I don't know, because I have no read for the Bucks' feelings on this and how they're going to play this. But whenever they give him a chance, if they give him a chance, he will be successful.
Man, I can feel that passion.
For
You're like,
sure. I was
we're
gonna
all
say you're
about it,
getting me
buddy.
into Trask now, man.
Yeah,
I'm
Trask
pulling for
Train.
Baker, but yeah, you're getting me feeling the
Trask
Baker
Train.
hype. The
I will
Trask
ride it
hype.
till the wheels fall off.
How long of a leash do you give Baker before you're? I mean, I know you're I know you're on the Trask train, but I mean, if is it 0-4, 0-5?
What's their schedule I don't know what their schedule
I
is
gotta
to
see
start
when
the
their
year.
when their bye week is.
So I think it's less about wins and losses. I mean, it is that, but I think you also have to look at the way that he's playing too. When
five.
yeah, so when he's playing his best football, he is being accurate. He is taking care of the football, and he's not gonna he's not throwing necessarily for huge touchdowns, but he's got that high completion percentage because he does have good accuracy when he's playing well. If you see that start to slip, if you see him start to throw bad interceptions, which he can do, and you see him kind of starting to get off script too much and not really trust the offense, I think you got to pull the plug on him because I think he can spiral very quickly. And I just, this is a division where it's there. The division's there. This division is kind of a mess. So like, I don't know who's going to win it. You have an opportunity. And I think that, I think you have a chance to maybe mess around and make the playoffs. And then once you get to the playoffs, it's about the high end talent. And you've got some of that on this team. So I don't think, I don't know what the ceiling is for this team, but I know that they gotta, you gotta be realistic. If you start the season and Baker is not it, you got another guy who deserves a chance at this point. If he didn't deserve a chance at this point, you should have moved on from him by now. He's been on your team for long enough. If you really think he didn't have it, just let him go and try to get somebody else in, or make it clear that he's not in the plans. But the way that they're treating this is that they're treating it as a true quarterback competition. So that makes me think that they believe he can start, and I believe he can start. So why do that unless you're really going to give him a chance? I just don't see a world in which Baker plays well enough, consistently enough to, earn the starting job the whole season. I just don't. He's never proven to be able to do that on the NFL level.
He's got his own story. He's got his we've said this a couple times on here where we're like, I really think this is as close to a true quarterback competition as we've seen in a long time, where it's like both these guys have dents and dings and maybes and more questions than answers, and both of them sort of don't have the perfect profile to go like, oh, that's the guy. It's like there's questions and they have to answer these. So it's gonna be pretty interesting, or it's gonna be a dumpster fire. Either way, we'll be talking.
It's still gonna be interesting if it's a dumpster
fire.
Either
way, we'll be talking about
it. Dumpster fire is only dumpster fire because you're watching it. So I mean, listen.
Let's get into you personally, because obviously we've learned about your passion and your knowledge now. Obviously you've got good insight on this. So baseball is kind of your thing here with us. I'm assuming that's one of your biggest loves. How did baseball how did that love start for you?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because it wasn't always that way for me, because I would have said for a lot of my life that football was my favorite sport. When I was a kid, I loved watching football. Growing up, my dad was a bigger football fan than a baseball fan. We watched mostly football, mostly college. Like obviously I'm a huge Gator fan, and if you haven't picked up on that now, I don't know how you haven't, but I'm a huge Gator fan. And my dad, that was born and bred. My dad went to UF, was watching those games as early as I can remember. And then we watched a lot of the NFL too. And football was kind of, that was what I did. That's what I loved. And when I was 10 years old, we moved overseas to the Middle East. And that kind of changed my relationship with sports a little bit, because now they were not as easily accessible. It was about it's about a 7-hour time difference over there from here to the States. So when you think about like the NFL, you're talking about staying up till 11 o'clock at night for a 4 o'clock game. You're talking about the game to start till 8 for a 1 o'clock game. You're talking about a night game. You're talking about you're up at 2 and 3 in the morning and you're watching it till the next day starts. So that's kind of what it looks like if you want to watch sports. And my dad wasn't a huge baseball fan growing up, so I didn't really watch it growing up. But when I was about 11 or 12, I started playing baseball because, believe it or not, there's a baseball league over there in Jordan. I'm on Little League. Shout out to him on Little League. so I played baseball all the way from when I was about 10 or 11 all the way through high school. And so I loved playing baseball. I played just about every position. I played a lot of, despite my stature, I played first base and I pitched and I played, basically anywhere that they needed me. I absolutely loved it. But again, because of living overseas, I didn't really watch baseball because the idea of getting up and, staying up till 3 a.m. to watch games 5 and 6 times a week just wasn't feasible. And I didn't really have a strong connection. Yeah. I mean,
No
it
doubt.
would, no. And it was one thing with football, like, with football, you stay up, like, if you're a football fan, you stay up for maybe 2 games a week because you watch your college game and you watch your NFL game. So that's what I did. We would stay up and watch the Gator game, and I'm a Patriots fan, so we'd stay up and watch the Patriots. Or I would. I'm not. That was sometimes just me staying up and watching the Patriots. But that was pretty manageable, especially because it's only 2 days a week. But once you get into baseball, it's just really, really hard. It's just really, really hard to follow a team over there. I only watched a couple baseball games really the whole time I was over there. Is actually and this is kind of interesting because, at least for me, because the first baseball game that I really remember watching all the way through was the World Series in, I believe, 2016 when Madison Bumgarner had that fantastic World Series performance.
Yeah.
And watching him pitch was kind of what got me into loving pitching. And so after that, I asked to start pitching more as I was playing. And so I kind of got more into pitching from that because I just was like amazed by his performance and just was kind of in awe of what he did.
Okay.
And so and I sort of started to become a little bit more interested in baseball after that, but I was still mostly just playing baseball at that point. I wasn't really following it actively, and I was very actively following, football and college football and professional. And then when I was 18, I came back over here to the States to go to college. And then I've been back over here since then. And I really started becoming a bigger Rays fan sort of after I got back here to the States.
So maybe talk about that a little bit right there. What made you, just become a Rays fan in general? Obviously not living here in Tampa. What attracted you to the Rays maybe?
So this is one of my favorite stories is when I was in college, I got to the end of my first year of college and I was going to go work for a summer camp in Florida. And there was about a week between the end of my college and the start of the summer camp. And I needed a place to stay. Just so happens my grandfather lives down in Tampa. And I went down there to stay with him for a week. And when I got there, we just kind of hanging out that first day there. And then around 6:30, we're like eating dinner and he walks out to the living room and sits down and puts on the Rays game. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll watch some baseball. Why not? And we watched the game and they won, I think, that first game. And it was kind of like, okay, cool. So maybe we'll do this tomorrow night too. So we go put on the game the next night and they just lose. It was a bad game. It was, I don't remember who was pitching, but it was not good. And this would have been the 2017 season. So this was kind of before we were really, this is kind of the beginning of the current era of Rays baseball that we were in. It was still in the rougher edges of that era. And so we had some rough games in those days. And about the 7th inning, my grandpa was calling everybody a bum. He didn't even stay. He went to bed in like the 8th inning. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's the end of that. Maybe we're not watching the game tomorrow night. Same time, same bat channel, same night, back in the same chair, watching the game the next night. And that's when I kind of realized, I was like,
fan.
Yeah,
so
shout out to Grandpa.
Is.
Hell yeah.
Scrams, yeah.
You watch the game, you win or lose, you get angry or you're happy, you go to bed, you get up the next day and you watch the next game. And I was like, this is awesome. Because like as a football fan, you get emotionally invested in this game all the way up to the game it happens. You have like a cool down period afterwards. You get emotionally invested in the next one, and it's kind of like emotional whiplash for a whole like 16-week season. But in baseball, you just kind of it's a smaller version of that where you get excited for the game, you watch it, it's over, and then there's another one tomorrow. So I'm like, this is awesome. And so he cracks me up. I love watching games with him. And right near the end of the time I was staying with him, we went to a game at the Trop. And this is a side story. I've only been to 4 Rays games live in my life, and this is the first one. And we lost that game. I think I'm like 2-2 in Rays games I've been to live. So I'm 500. But it was super cool going to the Trop, and the strongest memory I have of that game was, we were kind of just milling around, I wasn't really paying that much attention to the game in the first inning. And then bottom of the first inning happens. I'm still kind of just talking to my grandpa, not really paying attention. And then all of a sudden I hear this music start. It's Down and Out. I didn't know the song, but I hear it. And then I see everybody in the stadium go, whoa. And they all like whatever they're talking, whatever they're doing, they just all like turn their heads to watch this guy. And I'm like, who is this guy? I didn't know any names of the players. So I'm like, this Longoria guy, who is this guy? And I could just tell this was different. Like this dude was different. And so then immediately afterwards, I'm looking up everything. I'm watching his highlights and I just get mesmerized with this guy who is clearly like a different level of like everybody else who's out there. Right. I think we're playing the White Sox that game. And it was like, this guy's special. Like this is, and the atmosphere around that of how the whole atmosphere in the stadium changed when those notes started and he steps up to the plate was just like so cool to me. And that kind of like sucked me in. And I'm like, this is like different. Like, I mean, because when you watch a football game live, like there's those moments like that, but baseball just has this ability to create these moments in the game that you can't manufacture anywhere else. You can't manufacture that the first couple notes of Down and Out as you're sitting watching a game on your couch. It's just different when you're there in the stadium. Like, and there's no way to manufacture that at all. And it's just so cool. So I just got really in. I just kind of was from that point on, I was hooked and I followed the team loosely as I was starting to get into it more that season. And then the next season I was fully into it, watching every game, bought MLB.TV. I'm watching every game. I'm starting to learn about prospects. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my story to get started. It's all thanks to my grandpa.
Well, and that gets into kind of you had a different podcast at some point, right? Yeah, I think you started. You were about to start a podcast.
I was a big fan of Locked On Rays, and I made a couple guest appearances here and there. I love those guys. Those guys are awesome. But they were kind of my introduction to the Rays fandom. Because I was kind of an island where I didn't really have any fans who were baseball fans and definitely no Rays fans. So then I sort of got into a couple fan groups, and then I found the Locked On Rays podcast.
How did you find that? Like how, as an outsider at that point, as a fan, not in the media realm, like how did you go out and search these things? Because you're like at this point, I think you're like, I want as much as I can get. So how do I get more? Yeah.
I literally. So I had a Patriots podcast that I listened to on Spotify at the time. So I was like, I'm just going to go on Spotify and see if there's any Rays podcasts. And I just listened to a couple until I found one that I like. I like the way these guys sound because I was listening to some, and there was some that was like, there was one that was the official Rays podcast. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'll listen to that. But then I found this one's like, oh, this one's every day. This is kind of neat. I'll listen to these guys. And I love Kevin and Ulysses. Those guys are awesome.
Yep. Awesome. Yes.
Ulysses I love Ulysses takes. He's great.
And now he's been on the show with you now.
It was kind of surreal to
you guys got to trade the favor there.
I know it was surreal, honestly, to have him on because I was a huge fan of them. Love their stuff. Yeah. And that was kind of my introduction to the fandom side of things. And the thing that was funny about that was I realized that my viewpoint on a lot of players was not the same as everybody else's. So like I really liked Daniel Robertson. This is the biggest one. I love Daniel Robertson. I liked his walk-up song. I thought he had really good defensive abilities. I was like, this guy's awesome. And like, it's a Rays fan. I'm like, this guy's a bum. He's terrible OPS.
Yeah, what did Grandpa think though? Whoa, was Grandpa on the train with you?
Yeah, Grandpa, we love Daniel Robertson, but nobody else did. And of course, my favorite player was Chris Archer. I'm a huge Chris Archer fan. I own a Chris Archer jersey. I'm maybe one of like 10 people that owns one. I'm a huge, absolutely love Chris Archer. He's my favorite. He's still my favorite Rays player of all time because he was kind of one of the games that I watched with my grandfather was one of his starts, which was one of his classic. He goes 5 innings, throws 100 pitches with 12 strikeouts. But he had flair. He had some swagger to him. He was fun to watch. And so I immediately gravitated towards him, and I kind of got like mixed feelings about him when I like listened to other podcasts, and I was like, I don't agree with this. Why are you guys on my boy Chris Archer like this? I don't like this. And so it was kind of my first foray then into sort of like, I disagree with all these other people that are also fans of this team. Because, as growing up as a Patriots fan, there wasn't a whole lot of dissenting opinions in Patriots fans. It was kind of, we all were kind of on the same page for the most part. But then coming in from a baseball perspective, there's not that there's more variables, but the variables are different. And so there's a lot of sort of discussion that goes into the whole season. It's different than you kind of have a whole week to get on the same page in a football season, but in a baseball season, it's kind of it's a lot more up to sort of interpretation. I feel like you can it's kind of with a football game, you can kind of figure out why you lost. It's not really up to a whole lot of interpretation, but with baseball, there's a lot more involved in that. So anyway, that it was just fun. It was interesting for me to then get into it and realize I don't agree with all these people. I have different opinions and starting to express them. And that's kind of how I ended up getting a couple of guest performances on their podcast, was because I was pretty vocal about saying, hey, I don't agree with you guys. I think this guy is good. And even though nobody else does.
So this is there's a juicy topic here in Tampa that I want to get your opinion on here as a Rays fan. Mm-hmm. So the Rays are talking about moving to Tampa. They're in St. Pete right now. There's a possibility of them moving to Tampa. A lot of people might not know. Yes, we are the Tampa Bay Rays, but they do play in St. Petersburg. I mean, it is a drive out there. And I try to make it to as many games as I can, but it's as a Tampa fan where I live and I'm located, it's a far drive for me. And that's, some people might say that's an excuse, and I think the location in Tampa would. I think it would be better off for them in my opinion. I think it's worth a try before we actually leave the state, because there's talk about that too. So I want to get your opinion on this. How do you feel about this situation? What do you think? And, I know you don't live here, but if you had an opinion on, the Rays moving from Tampa, St. Pete, how do you feel about it?
So as I was sort of growing into my Rays fandom, I went to one game kind of when I first was with my grandfather. I didn't really clock the drive because I wasn't really thinking about it. And then I was becoming more of a Rays fan, and I was seeing how well the team was doing, and I saw the empty stands. I was kind of like, what's up? Like, because you watch other, much worse teams than we were filling in something I was kind of like, what's up? And then the next time I went to a game, like maybe a year later, I was like, wait a minute, like we're in Tampa. It's 45 minutes to get to the stadium. And it's not just, and it's like, wait, why are we driving 45 minutes to the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium in a different city? Like what, I mean, it's not unheard of for like, the New York, for example, the New York Jets don't play in New York. They play in New Jersey, whatever. So like that, there is some of that, but like at the same time, I'm like, this is a long drive, and there's this bridge, and you're stuck on it, and like when I remember,
all been there.
Like, I remember the first time driving on it, and I was like, and there's a sign that says "Bridge coming. Make sure you have gas." And I'm like, what?
Yep.
What am I looking at?
Yep.
And I'm like, this doesn't seem like it should be this way. And the parking situation as we were around there, I'm like, why are we parking in a dirt lot? Why is a dirt lot the official like parking garage of the Tampa Bay Rays? Like, what's going on here? I was just, and the truth is, it's not an ideal scenario. It just isn't. Like, you think about a 40,000 capacity stadium, which is, it's around that for the Rays. Where are you going to put all those people if you open the upper decks in where it is in St. Pete? Like, where are all those people going to park? Like I just don't think any of where it is right. Like, I love the Trop, the stadium. I love the Trop. It's a great stadium. The food is great. It's a great atmosphere. The light show, it's so cool.
Yeah.
The location, I think, is just not ideal. It just is what it is. And it's nobody's fault. And it's not like, it's no shade on anyone, but like, it just isn't great. It's not great. And it just, I just don't think it was very well thought through. And I mean, I have no idea why the decision was made. I haven't gone that deeply into it.
This is going to sound really weird, but PBS has a hour-long documentary about all of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that, because it definitely, it's kind of like, why would we make these decisions? I kind of don't understand. Oh, we got another guest star. Like,
he doesn't like going to the Trop either.
Yeah. It's just kind of inconvenient, and it's just like, it shouldn't be that way. Like, this stadium for this team that is consistently now the top of their division, top of their league every single year, and it's like a hassle to go watch them play. And I mean, no city's perfect. There is some level of hassle is going to be involved in watching almost any major sports team play, but it kind of feels like it's unnecessary with the Rays, and it just seems like it was poorly designed from the beginning. So I would be happy if they moved.
You are
somewhere
spot
else.
On. Yeah.
I would be happy if they moved somewhere else. I would be sad because I love the Trop and I'm sort of emotionally attached to it. and I wouldn't like to. I would be sad to see it, we move from there. But at the same time, for the betterment of like Rays baseball and the fandom, it's kind of a no-brainer.
This kind of goes into it's a big topic. I mean, I think from a business sense, from every sense of what it would mean for the fans and for the franchise, it would be better to be closer to the center of the metropolitan area.
Right.
And there'd be better ways for public transportation to get to a centrally located stadium. Like, there's a lot of different things. But business dealings and politics is a big reason why it is where it is and where it probably will stay. But so one of the things is they built the Trop hastily. They didn't get the baseball. Again, this is all in this really good documentary that's on PBS. You can get on their free app. It's actually really, really cool. And you should spend an hour of your life and watch it. All of you people. But basically, after hastily building a stadium to try to get a team to move here, 2 different teams that didn't move here, and putting it in a spot where they could build it cheaply and quickly, and then having a hockey team actually be in there instead of a baseball team for the first, years of that, then having to retrofit from a baseball stadium to a hockey stadium back to a baseball stadium, it gave the Trop had a very bad reputation. That's a long way of getting that to this, which is, I think you saw the Trop right at the beginning of this new renovation, because the Trop that exists today is more of a modern stadium with amenities and things like that. It looks a lot less of the I guess the first time I went to the Trop was like 08, like Scott Kazmir days, I think was the first time I went. And it was like a warehouse. I mean, it was a warehouse that you played baseball in. It was like it was like the atmosphere of going to a Costco. It is not that anymore. It is in my opinion. I guess without leading you to that answer, like, what was your impression of the Trop? And people still have a very negative connotation to the Trop. Oh my God. What would you say as your first experience and a recent experience that you just had, I think, and maybe comparing those two from your first time to the last time you went?
Yeah, I would say so. My first experience going there, I don't have a whole lot of like super, distinct memories about the Trop the first time I went there, other than just like, oh, it was a pretty cool place to watch baseball. It was nice. It was nice. It was air conditioned. I didn't think about it too much. I will say that I definitely feel like when I went the first time, it was the space was not as well used as it could have been. I feel like that's a memory that I have. And then in between going there the first time and coming the second time, the second time I came, it was a friend of mine, my dad's, got me like box seats. So that was really cool. So I sat up in like the boxes. It was really nice up there.
All right.
It was really cool. And then the next Rays game I went to after that was actually in Atlanta, where the Braves play, which I don't know if you've been to the Braves Stadium.
Not the new one.
That's a good place to watch baseball.
I was able to get to Olympic Park or whatever they called it before it got demolished.
Yeah. Truist Park. If you can get up there to watch a game there, do yourself a favor. It's a great place to watch baseball. There is so much to do around the stadium. You could show up for a 6:40 game. You could show up at 3, and you would not run out of things to do until the game started or an hour afterwards. Like it's a great place to watch baseball. And then coming back to the Trop after coming to that stadium, I really loved the Trop. And one of the things I loved about it the most is, so I'm a little inside baseball. I'm a lighting designer. It's what I do sort of as it's my dream career is lighting design for theaters. And so I really love the fact
I see the Wicked shirt. I see you, dude.
Yeah, I've got my Wicked shirt on.
I see you, dude.
And so going back to the Trop and seeing how they take advantage of the fact that it's an indoor stadium, you can have a light show. You can have a crazy blackout, blue out light show when Pete Fairbanks comes on to close it out in the ninth. I love that listen, I would be, let's get a follow spot on Pete Fairbanks as he walks out from where he's warming up to the mound. Like, let's get crazy with it. Like, let's, whatever I think you could even go even farther. And, because I love that they've already done that. So I love it. My nitpick with the Trop is not really the Trop's fault. It's the fault of the fact that it's a dome. And that is that I hate that some of our best players have had to play the majority of their career on turf. I don't like that. When you look at some of our best players, they've had injury history. I don't think it's a coincidence. Like, you look at KK, like, You got to tell me that his injury history that he had out there was not related to the fact that he played 82 games on turf when he was playing 82 games his entire career.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence. I just don't. So, I mean, that's my one gripe. There's not really any way to fix that unless you built a stadium that could open, and then you could. I mean, but even then, you'd probably still use turf. So, like, there's not a really, and you really can't. Like,
There's solutions. Arizona Cardinals, the football team, they kind of wheels in the. They have a like a retractable. Well,
right.
They have a ceiling, and then they bring in the turf from outside.
Yeah, and I don't know, and again, I don't know how you would do that in the sense of, with the Cardinals doing it once a week.
Right. I don't know if you can do that with baseball.
But I also think that some of your best players are they're going to be out there, like Randy Rosarena. You really want Randy running around on turf for his entire time here? Like I just think that from a business perspective, that's an asset. If you think about it that way, which is kind of a cold way to think about it. But if you're an owner, your star players are assets, and you are actively, damaging your asset at least a little bit every time he runs out there and he's running around on turf for the whole game. So that's a nitpick, but that's not. But I mean, I don't know if there's a good way to fix that unless you retrofit the whole stadium, and unless you. But I will say, if we do move, it is something I would like to see addressed, and I will be disappointed if it's not. Not surprised, but disappointed if they don't address that fact.
I am definitely pro move the Trop to Tampa, give it a shot. It takes me 15 minutes to get to the Lightning game. It's great. It's easy. Yeah. It's right off 275, right downtown. Like it's the parking's done great down there. They've really upgraded downtown. It looks really good with Sparkman Wharf and all that stuff. So I think I would love to see the Trop in Tampa or some kind of stadium in Tampa at least once. I think it's worth a shot here. I really do. I think you would draw in more attendance. The fans would go. I think if you can't have outdoor, obviously, because of the heat, the storms, the rain, I think it has to definitely be an indoor stadium for sure. Because it's 1,000 degrees outside right now with 400,000% humidity. So
it'd be horrible.
People will be dying, passing out left and right. So
for a whole season, you couldn't do it.
Yes, for a
you
whole
couldn't
season,
do it.
So
I mean, for a football season in September, you can do it, but you cannot do that for a whole 162 game schedule during the summer. You'd kill someone. Like it would be awful. But yeah, I mean, I think.
It would be rough. I got one more question here for you. A little quick question here for you. Maybe talk about a little bit. How's it like being a Rays fan? Not living in Tampa. Do you see a lot of Rays fans where you're at? Do you see a lot of support up there, or is it like, hey man, why are you a Rays fan? Living around. There's not many Rays fans scattered around. I know a lot of them like to travel, but maybe talk a little bit about that. Living in another state.
Yeah, it's kind of it is kind of tough because there really aren't very many Rays fans around here. I live in South Carolina, which is kind of tough because the closest Major League Baseball team is in Atlanta. Most people here are Braves fans if they are fans. Majority of the people around here aren't really big baseball fans. It's a very big college football area. Okay, we're very close to Clemson. So Clemson is the mood, and South Carolina. So like that's kind of what it is down here. It's not really a big. I mean, there is definitely some Braves presence, a huge Braves presence here, but that's really kind of it. There's a minor league. There's the single A team for the Red Sox is not far from me. And so I go watch their games every once in a while, and the single A, the Hot Rods do play the drive, so I do get to watch. I've watched them. I didn't get to watch them this season because I was not paying attention, but next season I'm going to try to make sure I'm there for all the drive games. I'm really angry at myself because I like Junior Caminero was on the team at that time. There's a whole bunch of other really good players. Hayden Erb was also playing.
Friend of the pod. Friend of the pod.
He pitched 5 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. I was so mad at myself. Those games. But it's kind of it's a weird feeling to be a guy who's on a Rays podcast and a huge Rays fan and talk about the Rays so much. And like I said, I've been to 4 Rays games in my life, and I've been to the Trop 3 times.
For sure.
So it's kind of a weird feeling. It really makes the times that I've seen them super valuable. Like,
Absolutely.
because I don't get to see them very much. Like, I remember, like, I'm never gonna forget the Isak Paredes home run that I watched live. Like, that was awesome. And watching Pete Fairbanks walk out, watching Zach Eflin pitch, and watching these guys who are like I'm idolizing and really, loving to watch play, Brandon Lau, like watching these guys play is like super valuable to me because I just don't get to do it very often live in person. I'm a very big in the moment guy too. Like, when I go to games, like, I'm not recording stuff. I'm not like on my phone doing like stuff. I'm watching the game.
Focus.
Like, you've seen the memes of like where there's, like LeBron James is shooting a shot and everybody's got their phone out and there's one guy who doesn't. I would be that guy. I'm not a record stuff guy. I'm gonna experience
live in the moment.
Yes.
Live in the moment guy.
Yes, that is great advice.
Which my parents don't always love because I sometimes forget to take any pictures, and so then I have no evidence that I ever did anything. There's some give and take there. My wife's a little better about it. She'll remind me to take a picture every once in a while. But
that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
She is there for me in a lot of ways, and I just really value every time I get to see him live because I just don't get to do it very often. And my hope has been for the Rays to play the Braves in the World Series for like the last 7 or 8 years.
That'd be
that's
awesome.
The only scenario in which I'm going to watch a Rays playoff game.
That's
pretty much
good.
ever. Like, I can't really justify, at least right now, going all the way down. It'd be like a 7-hour drive to get down there and watch a game. But Atlanta's like 2 hours away, so I could totally, now I don't know if I could justify paying for the ticket, but I could totally justify going over there. So that's my hope. And the Braves have been to the World Series. I was really frustrated because I thought it was going to happen a couple years ago, but it didn't. And I'm hoping it's going to happen this year too. I think that was my preseason pick was Braves, which is sort of ulteriorly motivated because I would just want them to come to a city where I can watch them play. I'm not going to LA if they play the Dodgers. It's probably what's going to happen because the Dodgers can't stand them.
Hey man, if Pat Davenport can fly here from England,
that's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair.
I think you can do the flight to. Well, it's been my kid's even interested. You can hear him in the background. I don't know if you can hear my kid screaming in the background, but he's playing. He's got his Mickey Mouse little figurines. They're awesome.
Good for him.
But yeah, this has been a really good conversation, and I think that it's been worthy of the listeners' time and worthy of maybe them going into the link in the description and voting for us for Best Podcast. We are nominated for the second time now for Best of the Bay, and I want it. I want it this year. I want it for Zach, who works his butt off every week for the Rays podcast. I want it for Chris Glazier, who's been on the Lightning podcast, and I've drug him out of retirement for this thing. And it's something that we try to give you so much, which more Rays, more Lightning, more Rowdies, more Bucks, more of what you love. And, something you can do to help us, click the link in the description. We're under entertainment section, Best Podcast. RBLR is right there in the middle. And every single vote matters. And we've got about another week and a half. There's still time. If you haven't done it yet, there's still time that you could help us out immensely because I want this. I want to bring that little piece of paper that says Best of the Bay, RBLR. And I'm gonna make a bunch of copies of it, and everyone's get to have one in their office or den or closet or wherever. But this is what I'm saying. We're bringing this show to you every week, whether it's in a closet or in our basement or while I'm literally watching my kid because everyone else is out of here. We're bringing you content. And all jokes aside, these guys work really hard for it, and I want to bring that home for them. So, Zach, if you're going to stick around, there's something we're going to talk about. It's baseball related, and that's Chris Glazier, the man who is still undefeated with these bets. Okay. By all means, do not follow his advice thinking you're going to make a bunch of money. You will lose money. Eventually, you will lose money. But Chris, why don't you bring us your bet of the week for the RBLR Sports Lounge, my guy?
All right, 2-0-1 heading into today. I got Ken Waldichuk at home, under 5.5 Ks versus the Rays. He's only gone over that twice in his last 25 games. Baltimore's only averaging about 7 Ks a game. The past 3, some of that could be relief pitchers striking them out as well. I don't think he gets this. Baltimore's on the road. Oakland's at home. I think maybe he gets 4 to 5 here today. So that is my bet of the day. Hopefully
they're playing the A's, not the Rays.
Yes, the A's are the A's are playing the O's.
A's are playing the O's.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say the Rays are playing Shohei and
So that is my pick of the day. Obviously, Hard Rock did a little update, did a little spicy update here, adding Florida into the terms and conditions for their app. So I don't know if that is a good sign or not. Obviously, Florida being added in to me would make it think that they are going to push this through at some point, or they have some sort of a plan. I know Wes Flagler appealed, as we talked about a little bit. But from a lot of stuff I've read, they said that in order for these judges to overturn this, it's going to take a lot. Everything I'm reading is saying that it's going to take a lot for them to overturn this. I would be surprised if they don't launch here soon. I know Monday was the target.
Is Monday? Monday's the day.
Monday is the target date that they are actually allowed to launch. Per the laws, the 56 days after the three judges unanimously overturned the shutdown from 2021. Yeah. So I think we're on the right path. They just dropped in New Jersey 2 days ago, and New Jersey's added in there too. So Florida being added in there, it's got to be a good sign. It's got to be either they're ready to launch, or they're going to launch. That's my hope. I think, like I said, for it to get turned over, it's going to take a lot. They're saying.
Yeah, and of course, I have no idea if they're able to sort of like still be in use while the appeal process is going.
They can. Technically, right now, they could launch. They're totally legal to launch after this 56 days.
So starting Monday, they could just go.
I think what they're afraid of, though, is launching again and then having to re-shut down again. And they're trying to respect the courts and do things the right way. They don't want to relaunch here and piss off the judges that haven't even looked at the appeal yet. That's going to look bad on them. So I think they're playing it smart, but I think it's on the better side. I don't know if Monday's still going to happen with this appeal happening. I think some other things still have to be done, but I'm hoping at least before the NFL season. But as far as I know, they wanted to launch on Monday. They had hired some people to get in the chat, have everything ready for the app to go. The app is great. If you haven't checked it out, it looks amazing.
We talked about that last week about how easy it is to use it and things like that. Yeah. So you've done more research than I have about, obviously you've done a lot of research about this. Is there any talk about, they're going to do this. They're doing a lawsuit. They're going to appeal it. They're going to do everything to push this up to the Supreme Court. Is that the next? Is that like the next option?
So this in-bok hearing would have to actually happen, and I guess they could go to the Supreme Court. I think there's still, I believe I was reading, there's two more options for Wes Flagler, even if the judges shut this down. I think the Supreme Court, from what I'm reading, is the next route. If I think it's a 9-panel judge now instead of 3. And they said, they're going to have 6 of them at least, want to overturn it, since the other 3 already overturned the other appeal. So it's a lot of legalities, a lot of back and forth. Unfortunately, I'm sure someone's not getting paid somewhere. As that's how it goes.
What wheel needs to get greased? Buddy.
Maybe Wes Flagler is not good at parlays. I don't know. If it does launch, Florida will be the largest state with sports betting, gambling, whatever you want to call it, and there's tons of revenue to be made. So I'm really hoping this pushes through. I just think that advertisements there, you're watching every NFL game now. It used to be no betting allowed. Now it's everywhere. You see it everywhere, and it's something fun, man. The ratings are up. Ever since gambling has been pushed through a lot of the times now on TV and commercials. The NFL ratings are up, NBA ratings are up, because people are tuning in to watch the Jets versus the Browns that nobody probably cared about 10 years ago. But hey, I got Aaron Rodgers throwing for 250 yards in the first half. I'm going to tune in. So I think it's all good, man. I really do. I don't, I'm really hoping that it gets pushed through and we can have some Hard Rock here before the NFL season starts.
Well, something that's also pretty much gambling is collecting sports cards and hoping that one of them is the $1 million card, the LeBron triple logo man. We're all looking for that kind of stuff.
Get into that.
Did you guys see the Magic the Gathering where they did the One Ring, and it was like a couple people. I don't know if anyone's found it yet, but people were like offering to pay like $2 million for that.
He pulled like the rarest card. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wowzers. Yeah, well, we're gonna do a lot of low stakes version of that with our worthless sports card breaks. Worthless sports card breaks is the name of this game here. So we'll let's see if I can get this up the way I want it to look. Boom, here we go. Well, we're gonna do our own little break. I've got 2023 Topps Series 1 and a couple packs of Series 2 in honor of our guest. We're gonna do some baseball
Very
cards.
nice.
So the big thing, Zach, I want to kind of get your input on like one, the look of the cards, because look, hey, maybe so we're gonna open up this box here, which has 7 packs and an exclusive commemorative patch card, which are these like manufactured relics,
Right?
Which I hate them. I think they're, because look, the collectors out there, we're looking for autographs, we're looking for relics, which is like a little piece of a jersey or a shirt or a hat or a base or something like that.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the serial numbered parallels. The different, nowadays they'll do ones that are, the green one is to 50 and the red one is to 150 and all this kind of stuff. Those are the ones that'll be worth more than your base card. 99% of these will be absolutely worthless, hence the name Worthless Sports Card Breaks. But there's more to that. There's more than that to the hobby. So let's see if you see a guy that if you want to talk about it a little bit, or if there's a special connection to somebody. Other than that, I'm going to kind of rifle through these because we got a lot of packs to get through. Here's Encarnacion. So here's a rookie card, right? People always want the rookies.
Oh yeah.
So because who knows, this guy might be a nobody right now. He might be a Hall of Famer, and I have his rookie card. Ian Anderson. Here's a dude not too far from you. Yeah. But take a look at this. Take a look at this design here. It's like sort of like a kind of like when you're at the baseball game on the Jumbotron.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the border.
Camilo Duval. So sometimes they don't do borders, but like another aspect of card collecting is the grading. So it's like you can get a card, but is it printed perfectly? Is it
right?
And so having this border gives it at least something to measure. Max Castillo rookie card, Patrick Wisdom. See, I like stuff like this where it's a captivating photography. Yeah.
100%.
Here's Max Scherzer, who just got traded not too long ago. Cal Mitchell rookie card. Skubal. Okay, and then here's a little insert. So this is 1989 style, 1988 style.
Oh, nice. That's
Christopher. Well, actually, it'll say 88. 1988 style rookie card, Christopher Morel, because this was the 35th anniversary of this set. So that's a cool little insert. Freddie Freeman, this will be an insert card here. This is a Stars of Major League Baseball, Freddie Freeman. Now, if you're a kid, dude, and you see this,
if you're a kid, that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, man.
Freddie
and that's
Freeman.
Part of it is not just collecting rookies and collecting the stuff that's going to make you a bunch of money, but like if you're a kid and that's your favorite player.
Oh yeah,
we're seeing like these where it's like got Verlander, Valdez, and Manoah.
Oh, it's like so. What is that supposed to?
I think it's like a check. This might be. Oh no, these are just league leaders. Sometimes they're checklists.
Okay,
but like in the future, 35 years from now, when Verlander's in the Hall of Fame, people might collect every Verlander card.
Yeah, that Manoah card is not gonna have too many more of those out there.
Yeah. Judge walks off, and then Luis Alvarez. All right, I'll be a little quicker with these.
It's crazy how much really it goes into these. Like there's so many different cards you're looking for. It's really crazy when you think.
Here's Yadier Molina. I'm pretty sure this is Yadier Molina's last baseball card, right?
That's pretty sick.
So if you're a collector, like I'm a big Cardinals fan, this is his last card that he'll ever have.
He's kind of doing the helmet up, like the acknowledging. That's a pretty sick card,
right? Now, this is probably worth nothing. It's probably worth $1, but sentimentally,
oh yeah.
Or if you're a completist and you complete, like you have all of his cards throughout his entire history, this is a perfect little capstone.
Great catcher,
and I'm actually going to keep that. JJ, Kendall Graveman, Corey Seager, Michael Givens, Gavin Sheets. Here's a Manny Margot. Manny Margot for the personal collection here. Green. So how? What's injuries?
It's like passing of the torch. Is that what this is?
So Green continues to improve. Yeah. So this is
Miggy
about
Cabrera and
Green,
Riley Green.
but it's got Miggy here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
Miggy.
that's kind of cool.
And this is a checklist, which I think are the most worthless cards.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate
for
them.
sure. That's
But
kind of neat.
if they have a cool picture like this,
Yeah.
because another thing I do is I use cards as like bookmarks. So
Oh,
my wife has a bunch of cookbooks that have like Deion Sanders cards as the
that's
bookmarks,
funny.
and
I love that.
Bo Jackson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here's Bobby Witt Jr. Chrome stars of the MLB. A little different. So like here's the regular, and then Topps Chrome is another set that they put out every year.
Right.
And so there's that. We're gonna have Jose Ramirez stars of the MLB,
Nice.
and Josh Donaldson,
Josh Donaldson.
Trevor Story with the
Oof.
with the green monster, Jeremy Urget, and New York Mets.
Love the Mets, baby. Love the
Still
Mets.
have so this is what I'm saying. We spent all this money. We've opened a couple packs. We have there's some insert cards, but like nothing of real collector
Yeah.
value, right?
Yeah.
Sentimental value.
Yeah.
Tristan
Right.
McKenzie. I think it's his second year card, maybe.
Should-
Jordan Romano. There's another player whose second year card was very highly touted
Yeah.
in this, but we won't talk about it. Maybe we'll pull him, but I don't want to talk about it if we do. Eduardo
call.
Rodriguez, Marcus Stroman. Here's Albert Pujols, which this is also probably his last
yeah.
baseball card. He came back to the Cardinals for his final year. Cabe Cavalli, Tyler Wells, 30-30. Welcome
Ooh,
to
Barry
Club Barry
Larkin.
Larkin.
Barry Larkin.
It's a cool little like kickback to,
That's neat.
and the 90s.
One of the best shortstops.
Bryce Harper, stars of the MLB. Kansas City Royals team card. Tucker Ramirez, Judge, league leaders, and then welcome to the show for Buxton. So if you're a Byron Buxton fan,
Yeah,
that's
you
a
might-
cool little
I
card.
like that.
And Mets power to victory.
The Mets. A lot of Mets action.
I know, right? What's up with this? Garrett
More
Cooper,
Marlins.
Jaron Duran, Nestor Cortez, Cody Clemens. Wait, this is Roger Clemens' son, right?
Yes.
One of them? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Or nephew or something. Yeah, I feel like that's correct.
born in Houston. Went to the University of Texas. Sounds like.
Sounds like it to me.
I think that is. Here we go. Robbie Ray, Michael Massey, Zach Davies, Ha-Sung Kim, Miguel Cabrera. There it is. This is a
Nice.
parallel. It's a
Yeah.
and so dude, this is Miggy's one. I think next year he'll have a card because he's playing this year, right?
Yeah, I'm playing this year.
But this is one of his last baseball cards.
Yeah.
In this parallel version, this will be
Yeah.
worth a little bit more than your standard card.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best card we've pulled. Oh, but here we go.
Ooh, there we go.
Is this the commemorative patch relic card?
Cool.
It's cool. It's like a plastic
Oh, nice.
material. And I guess if I'm an O'Neal Cruz fan, I might keep this. Here's a guy that's going through some heat right now. Is Wander Franco. I'm hoping that all gets worked out. But yeah, his card is the second year card in here. That's actually future stars. And it would be worth a little bit of money, but
yeah. Anyway,
Michael Harris, too. Josh Stalmont, Chicago Cubs, Texas Rangers. Yeah.
I think you've pulled a Marlin every first pack.
I think you have too,
buddy. So I don't know how these are collated,
but it looks like you've pulled a Marlin every first pack almost, or a first card.
Yeah, this is just like has a little theft protector. Here's Trey Turner, stars of the MLB. Oh, here's Jeff McNeil. Okay, so if you're a big Jeff McNeil guy, okay, we'll put that over here. Tiago Estrada, Trey Mancini, Victor Robles, Walker Buehler, Griffin Jacks, Simeon Woods Richardson, Shohei Ohtani. Boom. And what's cool about him is he usually has two baseball cards, one that's a batting and one that's a pitching. Like this does not have his pitching stats on it.
Insane.
So I kind of collect
Pretty cool one to
Shohei,
keep.
Yeah.
and I like seeing if I can get the batting and the pitching one.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa, Stone Garrett,
What a name.
Phillies.
Photo.
I know, right? New teammates, Magic Run, Nico Horner, Carlos Santana. Nico Horner's killing it for me in my Roto League. I'm just behind Ben. I am just behind Ben.
Is Ben in the lead still, or is he, or no?
So in our league, in our RBLR Premier League of Champions, he is in the league. Oh, you're in it too.
I am in it too.
Jesus
I'm so
Christ.
bad.
I'm
I
an
could just get
idiot.
on my phone and look. I'm
an
so
idiot?
bad.
Yeah, you're in there, but it's like we've kind of separated from the pack. That's
Yeah,
why
you guys have.
my
That's
sole
kind of why
focus
I
has been
checked out.
my
Well, like
sole
a bunch of my
focus is
players got hurt, so I just checked out.
sucks when that happens. Man.
Yeah.
That's usually my story in football is I'm killing it, and then the last 4 weeks it's like everybody's shutting it down.
Yep.
Matthew Libator, Corbin Burns, Josiah Gray, future stars. Dylan. Speaking of Ben Whitelaw, there he is.
Speaking of dog
Speaking of
pancake,
Ben
dog
Whitelaw,
pancake
have
lookalike
you ever
there.
seen him and Dylan Cease in the
Nope.
same room? I haven't.
It looks just like him.
haven't. It looks exactly like
It
him,
looks
actually.
it's very humorous.
Yeah, of course, Ben is way more handsome, but
100%.
Graham, he's our guy. Mookie Betts,
Mookie Betts.
like Mookie Betts, some kid that's his favorite player. And
Did you see Mookie? Did you see the story on Mookie Betts? Did you see that? So
No.
there was a guy there. Real quick story. There was a guy in the front row told Mookie Betts if he hits a home run, he's going to name his daughter after him. He hit a home run that at bat. They put his middle name for his daughter's middle name on the birth certificate.
That's very funny.
So I saw a quick
She's like,
video of it yesterday. It was pretty
Jessica Mookie Williams or whatever.
cool. Yep.
Sakes.
And he after he hit the home run, he was about to go to the dugout, and then he went back to the fan and gave him a quick dap through
That's cute.
the net there. And it was.
He might
cool.
be the next Hall of Famer in the league right now. After some of these there's kind of a class of guys who are kind of like some of the pitchers like Scherzer and Verlander, but like he's kind of, I think he might be one of the next guys that's going to make it to the Hall that's currently playing.
Great hitter,
just because of his
Great
longevity
hitter.
and his.
Wish he wasn't on the Dodgers, but yeah, he's
I know,
a great
right?
hitter.
All right. Here's Shane McClanahan.
Oh yeah.
So the Shane McClanahan, not a rookie card, not a second-year card, not like anything, but if you're a Shane O'Mac guy,
Mhm.
Oh.
As we all should be.
of course, come on now. Ian Happ,
Mm-hmm.
Giovanni Gallegos, Miguel Vargas, Anthony Santander. That's a young player that people might be collecting. Zach Thompson, spelled wrong though. Sorry, Mr. Daab.
Forgot about Chris Bryant.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
What happened to him?
he
He's on the
goes
Rockies.
he goes to Colorado where old free agents go to die.
Yeah, I guess.
Yuriki
Tanner
knows all
Rainey.
about that.
So Bobby Witt Jr. This is a rookie gold card. So it's
Okay.
it's not really that much more money, but like it's his like second year card. It's not a rookie card.
Yeah.
But it is like showing that he was like an all-star rookie. So along his career, you might collect that stuff. Vladdy
Mhm.
Jr., Judge Trout Alvarez. Like this might be a card where all three of these guys end up in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
And 30 years down the road, you got all three of these guys on one card.
yeah, that's kind of cool.
I mean, because I collect 50s and 60s stuff, and so sort of the cheapest way to get a Mickey Mantle card or a Lou Gehrig card or whatever is to get some of these like league leaders or and they command a little bit of money. But Zach Thompson, Toronto Blue Jays, and here's Abreu Judge Bogarts. I didn't call it out, but I did open up one of these Series 2 cards. The Series 2 will look exactly like the Series 1, just maybe that's probably the one that had the Wander Franco in it. That'll have like the a little more different insert set, a little different. Like an insert set is like these stars of the MLB, where it's like a collection within the collection kind of thing. That if you like the artwork, you like the players, you might want to collect those.
Mhm.
Paul Sewald, Nolan Jones rookie, Kettle Marte, and those Serpentines, these like Latin jerseys. I love those. Cabrian Hayes, Aaron Ashby, Brad Keller, Roberto Perez, Adrian Hauser. Oh, so check this out. These are aces of the game.
That's sick.
It's all aces, right? And this is Justin Verlander, and it's like this. It's got
That is sick.
like a reflective. Yeah, dude. Like
That's
these are
pretty sick.
These are cool.
I would kill for like a Tyler Glasnow version. Of
I've
that.
pulled a few of these, and they're really
that's
cool.
sick.
Yeah, they're really cool. Javi Baez, stars of the game.
Yeah, is he though?
Is
he though?
Get him.
That's the first one that I've seen. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Jazz Chisholm, C.J. Abrams, future stars, and Mitch Haniger. And then here's the Series 2, the last one we'll do here. Last one we'll do here. We got a little bit of this. We got some Eloy Jimenez.
Okay.
Significant statistics. Average distance 219 feet. I
think, does that mean his average batted ball is?
He had exactly 300 batted balls in 2022. They traveled an average of 219 feet, 10 feet longer than anyone else. Wow. So get your 209 out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's smacking that.
Corbin Carroll rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, here's your
resident Marlins card.
Igor Rosario, Justin Verlander,
JV
in a Mets. I think it's Photoshop.
That doesn't look like a Mets shirt. That looks really bad, actually.
That's Photoshop, my guy.
That looks bad.
Wait. Didn't we pull a Verlander earlier?
Yeah, we pulled Verlander earlier. That was a Mets one. That looks like they just couldn't be bothered to wait until he got in the Mets jersey.
Yeah, I did. I pulled a Verlander. I can't find it in this rack, but we pulled a. It's the. Yeah. I think it's the same picture. Just Photoshop.
What's the one that you've got the ace card? Wasn't that Verlander?
Oh my God! Look at this. It's the same delivery.
He has a very similar motion.
It's a delivery.
It's his motion is very similar, but still, that looks.
See the jersey on his arm.
Dude,
it's really bad.
Dude, look at this.
Look at the jersey on his arm.
Oh my word! That might be like valuable only because that's like so bad.
Oh, they do it all the time now, man. It's one of the things they do. Well, so Series 2, yeah. Gabriel, Edwin Suarez, Casey Mize, Isak is our second Rays player. Our third race player, but we'll keep that over here. Alek Manoah, Oakland Athletics, Eloy Jimenez, the popcorn at Coors Field. Coors Field's another stadium you got to go to, man.
It seems fun.
It's built in that old style in the 90s where they were building all the ballparks like cathedrals, like they were supposed to look like Fenway Park or something like that. And the way that they did all the architecture was like, it was sort of like, it was always supposed to be part of the, architecture of downtown and stuff like that is one of those things. So
that's cool.
So we kind of struck out, man. Zach, you're not a good luck charm, man. We didn't have any. No. So we got to get Santiago back on here, buddy. We pulled number AEW cards. We pulled an we pulled a relic of Miro that I still need to give to you. But we had a bunch of fun. Zach, my guy, buddy,
great show.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to plug for yourself before we get out of here?
Not really. If you wanna follow my very intermittent tweets on Twitter, you can follow me at RealZachDaab, and of course, just watch the Ray Show. Vote for us for Best of the Bay.
There we go, Chris. Final word as we get out of here, buddy.
Big shout out to the man Eureka, man. You put in a lot of work. Love you, man. It's a great show. Everyone needs to follow us, like, subscribe, comment, go vote. Go vote. We put in a lot of work for you guys. It's my birthday this week. I'm turning 36 on Wednesday. I'm feeling it in every way, shape, and form in my back. Great show today, guys. Love you guys.
Well, for the birthday boy and a huge AEW show coming up, let's go. It's land.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.